Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It is so lovely to see everyone here. And last week we spoke about, last time we met, which is the week prior to Sukkot, we spoke about way number 18, which was limited pleasure. The week before that, we spoke about limited intimacy. And the idea here is that each one of these limited ways that we're talking about are areas that are easily taken out of balance. And if they're taken out of balance, instead of them becoming an asset, they become our enemy, our own inborn enemy. And we have to be very, very careful. And that's what our sages warn us about in these ways. So today's way is limited sleep. Limited sleep. So what is limited sleep? All right. So we all know sleep is very important. Sleep is very powerful. But sleep, like the other pleasures we spoke about previously, like the other assets, it can invigorate us or it can hurt us. Someone who sleeps too much isn't able to be productive. Someone who's always sleepy and draggy can never be effective and can never. And that's what our sages teach us is the more we are awake, the more aware we are able to be, the more we're able to function and operate and be proactive, the better off life will be. The more we're asleep, the more we are comatose, so to speak, to the opportunities of life.
Right. It's funny, like this is I struggle with this. The struggle is real here.
Zehava doesn't sleep much.
We don't sleep enough. I think also, well, how much sleep is another thing, and we'll get to that. But everyone needs different amounts of sleep. We're all different. Some people somehow function on less, and also depends on your type and your metabolism, and I don't know, all different things that maybe affect your sleep. But also, I think age obviously is a factor, as we might be learning. I used to function on a lot less sleep, and now if I don't sleep more, I can't function during the day. So it's definitely not helpful not to sleep. So we're not saying obviously to sleep less. Sleep, as we're saying, it's very important. Sleep is crucial. Sleep is a gift. I really think like sleep is like, you know, kids like kids when you tell them like go to sleep, it's like a punishment. I wish someone would say to me like go to your room and go to sleep. Like, because sometimes I just can't bring myself to just stop what I'm doing, just go to sleep like a human, like a mensch. And then in the morning, it's hard to pull yourself out of bed. But sleep really is a gift. A lot of times we're like struggling with something, we like say like sleep on it or see how you feel in the morning. And really, sleep can help you heal, like emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. There's so many things that like when you sleep, you wake up feeling better if you sleep properly. Um, just side note for couples or people in a relationship, when we say like things get better in the morning, like a lot of times like something's bothering you, and then you just you go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Usually, arguments between a husband and wife don't work like that. Don't go to sleep angry. They say stay up and fight the whole night. It doesn't work like that. If you go to sleep angry, it does not get resolved by the morning. So that's a disclaimer there. But really, other than that, sleep is very important. But we have to, like all the other things that we're talking about, is finding a balance, because too little is torture. It's actually literally torture, right? It's like one of the methods they use to torture people in like captives or spy or whatever. I don't know the stuff. So they'll torture them by not letting them sleep, and at some point they're like, just let me sleep. Go. I'll tell you whatever you want. Just let me sleep. And too much is you don't. A lot of times, like when you oversleep, you don't even feel good. You're just even more tired. You're more sleepy. You're not functioning better. So we have to find the balance of what the right amount is.
We'll talk about how much exactly. The Rambam gives us an indication to that. But a person needs to conclude that life is good and it's worth living. Otherwise, we'll continue to sleep, right? is it what is exciting, and it's it's a big question. It's like, you see, children. I have we have, thank God, many children, but our 6-year-old son is now at that age. He's up at 6 a.m. or 6:30. He's dressed and ready to go to school. He's all excited. And then we have other children, without mentioning names, who are 12, 14, 15, 16, 18 now. Today's our son's birthday. He's 18. And they're not as excited to get out of bed, and they're not as excited to jump and be ready at 5:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning. So why is that so that the children, when they're younger, have more energy and are excited, and when they're older have less energy? And then obviously it has to come back, and when they're at an age that they need to produce for their family, for their livelihood. So they have other ambitions that drive them. And I think it's a very interesting thing. A very dear friend of mine said, he says, these little children, the younger they are, they still dream. They still have hopes. They still have, he says, but sometimes when they get to the age of 12, 13, at those teenage years, they're like, those dreams will never happen. So what? It's not worth getting up. And the idea is that we need to continue to inspire our children. They need to continue to dream. They need to continue to be excited and energized, because the more energy a person has, the more exciting it is to wake up and to have another day to work hard, right? Not just, I don't like whenever I see the TGIF, thank God it's Friday, people post it on their Facebook, or people post it on their statuses, or whatever it is, that like we're happy that the week is ending, right? I think Monday is a great day, because Monday is the beginning of a whole new week of opportunities. Sunday is actually a work day too, but right? But we shouldn't be running away from work, from toil, right? And only want vacation. We should, Adam la'amal yulad, King Solomon says, man was created for toil. Sleep is not toil. Sleep is recharging our battery so that we can toil, right? But sleep on its own shouldn't be a vehicle for. It should be a tool to assist our accomplishments, our ambitions, but it shouldn't be a purpose unto its own.
You're saying like kids jump out of bed. So Yitzi, right? You're talking about Yitzi, who's 6, turning 7 tomorrow. It's the birthday season. What we hope. So when he when he wakes up in the morning, sorry, I'm sleepy. So when he wakes up, he's like I was saying, like good, ready to go, and he's excited for the day. I think when we have something in mind that we know is happening that day, right? You're excited. You can't fall asleep, or you're not sleeping in. If a bride, the day of her wedding, if she can't wake up in the morning, if she has a problem getting out of bed, you might want to cancel the wedding, right? Because if she's not excited to just say, oh, I'm too tired, let me just sleep another hour. No, get up. It's exciting. You have stuff going on today. It's a big day. So when we have a big day, right, if we can hardly wake up after 8 hours of sleep and the alarm set for 7:30 and you need to start your day and you can't push yourself to get up, but you have you're going on your dream vacation and your alarm goes up at 4 in the morning, you're getting out of bed. You might be tired for a second, but you're excited to get out of bed at that time. So it really is. I think a lot of our we're so tired. I think a lot of it's not really tired. It's
Unmotivated.
It's laziness. I would say laziness is like we get lazy and that's a strong tool of our Yetzer Hara, of our evil inclination, right? That's inside of us, like telling us, it's rainy today. Oh, it's too cold. It's too hot today. It's Monday. Stay in bed. Just call it a wash. Like tomorrow, try again tomorrow, right? And you have those days that you're just lazy in the morning. You don't want to get up and you don't want to start your day and just sit around. And then like a lot of times that whole day is just unproductive. The whole day is just, like nothing. You're like, whoa, it's 4 in the afternoon. It's 5, right? And just because you're so lazy and you don't just, you gotta like wake up sometimes and snap out of it,
Yeah, so it's very interesting that we need to maximize the use of our body, but we also need to not abuse our body, right? Our bodies are unbelievable vehicles, unbelievable tools, but like just like our phones, right? We use our phone, but your phone you need to charge. If you don't charge it, it's going to be dead. Our bodies is a very similar function. If we don't recharge our bodies, we're going to be dead. Right? It's essential for our existence to have, a body that is energized, a body that has all of the nutrients it needs. By the way, eating healthy is extremely important, but also to have the proper sleep, right? A lot happens in the body when a person sleeps and a person is resting, right? The body is getting ready for another 16 hours of productivity, hopefully, right? It needs it. And if a person doesn't sleep properly, it could be very, very damaging to the body.
I was like thinking about it just now as you're saying. I'm doing the math in my head. It's like very complicated math, right? 24 hours, 8 hours, right? You're saying 16 hours. If you think about it, really, so we're saying like a third of our day. So
Or
like
life.
a healthy amount of sleep is 8 hours. So that would be a third of our day.
Mhm.
And if you add it up over your lifetime, you're saying a third of your life you're sleeping. That's a lot of time for those of us who are blessed to have 120 years, right? That's 40 years you're sleeping. Okay, and most of us aren't that lucky. So how many years are we sleeping? And then you want to sleep more, and then you want to just sit around and be lazy and just sit on the couch and watch TV. How much of your life is the most precious gift? So we're wasting so much time just sleeping, and it's such a waste that, like, when you really think about it. So again, very not don't sleep. This is not, no one's telling you not to sleep. Sleep is very precious. Sleep is important. Some people need 8 hours, some people need 6 hours, some people somehow function on less. But you need to figure out how much sleep that you need and make sure you're sleeping and sleeping properly. A lot of times people go to sleep, they could be in bed for 10, 12 hours and still be tired because they're watching TV late at night, or they're stressed out, or they have things on their mind, or, and then they're still not sleeping properly. That's also not sleep. You need the sleep, you need a rest, you need a recharge, but you don't want to.
So the Talmud actually addresses that idea of someone sleeping a third of their life. If we're sleeping 8 hours a day, a third of our life is sleep. So the Talmud says, how do we reconcile that with being productive? So if the Talmud says that if a person is sleeping so that they can provide for their family, which is a mitzvah, so that they can learn Torah, which is a mitzvah, so that they can go to synagogue and be able to focus, which is a mitzvah, etc., then the sleep also is a mitzvah. So it's not that we're sleeping and wasting our time. We're sleeping for a purpose. We're sleeping so that we can be productive, so the sleep is part of the good that we do. It's not just like, oh, the sleep is the waste of time, but when I'm productive, that's like, no, sleep is also productive when it's for the right causes, that of us being productive and doing the will of Hashem.
Like, let's say if we would say, how you promised recently you're going to take me to the Alps and all these
The Swiss Alps, yeah, that was a
No,
previous.
let's say, someone was going on vacation, right? So they save up money and they save up their miles on their credit card and they save up, vacation days from work, and they're all excited to go on this nice vacation. And they've always dreamed of going to, let's say, Paris, whatever it is. And you finally get there and you're like, I worked hard this year. No. I'm just gonna, you have a week in Paris, and you like just sleep, just stay in the bed and just sleep and order room service, and and like, okay, so you had croissants, maybe French croissants and breakfast in bed, but you're not experiencing your vacation. You're not enjoying the purpose of your vacation. I think there's two types of vacationers.
I happen to disagree with that.
No.
But
There's two types of vacationers. There's the
Zehava does the vacation when she wants to see things.
No,
I'm the vacation. I want to do nothing.
I'm not a get up at 6 a.m. and go for a hike and come back and no, right? I think I'm balanced with my vacation. There's some people who like to, spend their entire vacation on the beach or by the pool reading a book and, doing nothing, just chilling, zoning out, which is also, somewhat okay. And then there are the people who just spend the whole day making plans and parasailing and this and that and going for hikes and just eating different foods and checking out different restaurants, checking out the culture and the food of different places, which is a much better vacation. But you could have a balance. I think we figured out that we have some chill days. I think that works the best. If whenever it does happen, not often enough, right? But when you have vacation, you have some days that you just chill and do stuff and recharge and relax, which is very important, and also go enjoy and have a good time. I'm saying like I was trying to say like life is kind of like this vacation, not a vacation, but sort of. Right? So I'm saying you want to go on a vacation and rest up and feel good, but you don't want to spend the entire vacation just sleeping because then just kind of a waste. So our life, we have to, you need to rest. But we're always so like lazy and I'm so tired and I'm not in the mood and I'm this and I'm that and like I need some self-care, more me time and more rest and more this and more that, right? Sometimes just we're procrastinating instead of, let's go, like function, do something with your life. Yeah.
Right, so the reason our sages put this idea in the Mishnah, it's called b'miut sheina, right, with limited sleep, is so that we don't miss out on life's opportunities and pleasures by oversleeping, right? We're just going to sleep, we're going to miss opportunities. And that's what our sages tell us is one of the worst things is missing out on opportunities, right? We have to watch out from zombieism, right? Just being always tired and always drained. When we're excited about a project, like Zehava mentioned just a few minutes ago, right? When we're excited about something, we can't sleep. We're so excited. We have this energy, right? And we need to live our lives really with that kind of energy every day, right? Too much sleep dulls the mind, right? I asked my rabbi is known to sleep very few hours every day, every night. I think it's 2.5 hours a night. That's it. And I asked him, I said, Rabbi, when are you going to sleep? He says, when I die, I'll have a lot of time to sleep. It's like, because sleeping in his perspective is, the Talmud says that sleep is a 60th of death, right? Shabbos is a 60th of the world to come, of the Garden of Eden, right? And in sleep, it says, is a 60th of death, right? If it's a 60th of death and I want to live, why would I want to sleep? So he has to figure out, he told me that he trained his body to need less and less and less over many, many years. It needed 8 hours and then he got down to 7:45 and then to 7:30 and then to 7:15 and slowly taught his body to need less sleep. And again, here's a man, a great, great, towering scholar, who really, he told me that's the only time he gets to learn is when he wakes up at 1:30 in the morning. That's when he wakes up, 1:30 in the morning. And then he learns till he goes to prayers in the morning at 7 o'clock, right? That's the only time he gets to learn for himself, for his own learning, for his own growth, right? The rest of the day he's giving classes, he's answering questions, he's involved with community matters. He's busy, 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 busy all day. So the only time he actually gets to learn and to infuse his soul with Torah is when everybody else is sleeping. So that's a man who loves life and wants every minute of life to be maximized. So the least death I can involve in my life, i.e. sleep, the better off.
That's high levels.
It's very high
That's
level.
not
I mean,
like
but it's something to aspire to. But it really is. That's unbelievable.
if anyone's watched the show Shtisel, it's like amazing. And I said like watching TV, but like not, but like this is good. This is like a great show, right? And it's very interesting. And my kids were asking me, we were watching an episode, my kids were there, and we really don't watch much, but we were watching that, and the kids were watching it with us. And there's a character on the show, Hanina Tonic. What's her name? The girl's husband. I don't know. The guy.
The young girl from high school that got married to
Right.
the guy.
So there's a scene where he's sitting in yeshiva and he has his feet in cold water. Did you see that part? He's sitting learning late night in the yeshiva, right? So and he has his feet in a bucket of cold water. And my kids are like, what is he doing? So this is not a common regular thing, but in some places, some
individuals.
some individuals who are very, very serious about their learning and try to keep themselves up instead of like endless coffee or Red Bull or whatever. That's what they do, is like they'll learn with their feet in cold water. It's hard to fall asleep like that, you know what I'm saying? So just an interesting, but there are people, right? When you need to get something done, when you have a deadline, when you are in law school or med school, or have a crazy like amount of work, you find a way. You have to stay out, right? People who are working night shifts and doing this, right? You find a way. But again, important to sleep, but also a lot of it we have to know, recognize in ourselves. I think each person, a healthy thing, I like printed it out and I was very bad about actually filling it out, like how many hours a day I sleep, because it was a little dysfunctional and like all over the place. But there's also like Aryeh's watch has it, a lot of Fitbit watches, like people have these apps on their watch that can tell you how many hours you slept, and even if you went into bed at a certain time, it shows you how long you actually slept in real hours of sleep, and REM and whatever, like deep sleep, good sleep. Um, but it's important to get to know ourselves and how much sleep we need to really function and feel good and energized. And then at what point we're just being like, if you're tired, you're tired. You don't need to be a martyr or a hero and not sleep. That's not what it's saying. That's not, it doesn't help anybody. But realize when you're being tired and when you're actually just lazy. And if you're tired during the day, you don't need to take a 2 hour siesta. You could take, sometimes I'm with the kids, it's just like one of those days and you just crash on the couch for 15 minutes and you just feel refreshed. So
Right, so tiredness is also a habit, and that's something we need to break that habit. Again, sometimes a person could be physically needing sleep. That's fine, but we have to also remember that just people always being sleepy could be a function of not having enough excitement or enough ambition to go and get and accomplish things. Now, if a person, just a disclaimer, if someone is not well on a regular basis where they need much more sleep, they should maybe check out a doctor. Maybe they're iron deficient or something like that, or they have something else that's. I mean, we're not saying that anyone who sleeps it's evil. We're just saying that we want to maximize life. The goal of all of these 48 ways is to have the tools to maximize life. Part of maximizing life is minimizing sleep. And that's why it's listed as one of these 48 ways.
I saw
Right?
a quote from the author, I think it was the author from Navarre, and he said that the problem with people is that change, we want to change ourselves or change the world, overnight. But at the same time, we also want to just sleep well and get a perfect night's sleep that night, right? So you can't have both. We always say like, oh, I want to get in shape, I want to do this, I want to do that, but then to actually get off our lazy toches and actually go exercise, right? That's much harder. So we have to not just have goals. We have to actually get up and do it. And that's what we're saying, is just, it's not just, we have all these great ideas and things that we want to do, and then sometimes like wake up in the morning, you can make a list the night before and say, tomorrow I'm going to do this, this, and this, right? And you wake up in the morning like, oh, okay, first coffee, then I'll check my social media, then all this, then right? It's a laziness that we have to break that cycle, and we have to, you know, we all are human, and you give a bunch of people the same amount of hours of sleep or the same amount of years to live, and you could have people who accomplish amazing, wonderful things, and you have people who like got to very high levels of Fortnite, and like that's it. That's, you want to be accomplishing in life. You want to get things done and you want to have goals. And we have to stop with all the excuses and the laziness, and we rationalize our like inaction. So it's important to just, you know,
Be motivated and
right.
to accomplish. It's an interesting thing. There's another type of sleep. I was actually talking about this in one of the classes recently, where sometimes you learn something new and you're like, wow, I've been reading this or learning this or understanding it like this one way, and now with a little insight, a little perspective, it like opens up a whole new world of understanding. Where was I till now? Our sages tell us that's also a form of sleep, is when we don't learn and see the world from multiple perspectives, right? We have the things that we're comfortable with. This is the way I learned about Pesach when I was 6 years old, and when I was 8 years old, and I was 10 years old, and never refreshed and looked at it from a new perspective, from a new lens. And when we do that, what we're doing is we're awakening our soul from that sleep, right? We're awakening our mind to new perspectives, to new ideas. And I think it's something that's so powerful. It's such an important way to look at life. I was recently sharing in one of the classes an idea on prayer, which was something I was learning in one of the books behind me, and it was a completely new perspective on prayer. How every prayer that we every blessing that we said in the 18 blessings of the Amidah, the 19 blessings of the Amidah, were tied in one into the other, interwoven. And I was like, that's the most amazing thing. I never even thought about it, right? I've been saying these prayers thousands of times. Never occurred to me. I've learned many different explanations and many different ideas and commentaries on the different blessings. But this theme that was running through all of the different blessings didn't occur to me. I was like, I was sleeping all this time, right? All this time, I'm saying these prayers, and I didn't have this perspective, this idea, this focus when I was saying those blessings. So I think that that's another form of sleep, is not sticking to our opinions just because that's what I'm comfortable with. Let's open up to new ideas, to awaken ourselves to new perspectives. And that is a different form of sleep that we can stop, hopefully, through this way of limited sleep.
Just like, and the whole month of Elul, right, and Tishrei, we like blew the shofar. So that's what a shofar is. A shofar is your wake up for your soul. That's your alarm clock. It's like saying, wake up, wake up. And we keep like snooze, snooze, right? And the shofar is like, wake up, right? So it's just a reminder. This whole time is just a reminder for us to remember that there's all these things, right? We always talk about like these wake up calls in our life, right? But a wake up call, we need to not wait for all these. The whole idea, the whole concept that we wait for a wake. Let's say, I mean, this is a little weird, but like before we're talking about my son's birthday, and I was just thinking, my son's birthday, 18, I can't believe it. Wow, it's great, cool, move on. And then I opened a text message from a dear friend, Dvor Cohn, who used to work, with us at Torch. They moved to Israel, and she posted a thing about her son. How today, it's a very hard day for her, and today would have been her son's bar mitzvah. He's 6 years old. He passed away when he was 6 years old, and now today would have been his bar mitzvah. And it hit me like today would have been her son's bar mitzvah. I'm here like thinking, oh, my son just turned 18. Next, move on. And then that to me was a little bit of a wake up call. Like, don't take it for granted. Please God, we should all be healthy and live our lives and have children, and they should all be healthy and happy, and but don't take your kids and grandchildren and friends and life and family and everything that we have for granted. It's just
A given.
a given. Exactly. Like, appreciate everything that you have, and utilize all the talents and the strengths and everything that we're given on a daily basis from God. Stop waiting for these wake up calls. You have these people who say like, oh, whatever, I was this and that, and my building burnt down, and I got out narrowly, and this was a wake up call for, people wait for these life shattering moments to wake up about things that are going on, to appreciate their spouse and their children and all these things. So why do we do that? Why do we wait for all these wake up calls? We need to wake ourselves up sometimes and just say, like, look what you have. Look at, you're not gonna have a little. My mother-in-law is like very very special, sweet lady, and like she used to wake Aryeh in the morning. Aryeh, love, like, morning. That's how she wakes all the kids. Yoni, good morning. Like in this perfect like sing song, nice, like, right? You're not gonna have that in life. No one's waking you up every day and singing this beautiful, and you're like, oh, right? That doesn't happen. So we need to just snap out of our like laziness and snap out of our routines that are not getting us places, and to find things that wake us up, that motivate us, that excite us, that give us purpose, so that we have meaning and do stuff in our lives. And even now, even when it's hard, even when there's like it's hard to get out and do stuff and whatever, and we're stuck, and find things that keep you motivated, because once you get into this routine of like sleepiness, laziness, it's very, very hard to it's very hard to break
out of
it.
it.
It's very hard.
Absolutely.
So
So, my grandfather would always say that before you leave your house and you're going to the supermarket, you're going to town, wherever it is, he would always say, don't leave with an empty mind. Read a verse, think of an idea and use the opportunity. It means don't walk around with an empty mind. Have a mind that is occupied, have a mind that is busy with thought. Don't just, daydream into the abyss. And I think that that's a very important piece to include here of, again, not living a life that is sleepy, not living a life that is just habit because that's the way I've always done it, so that's the way it is. So unless we take practical steps to stay awake, right, sleeping is going to overcome us. And it really is the reality of how life is that let's embark on a new mission. Let's put forward a new agenda, challenge ourselves to something new. One of the things that one of my mentors when we were, back in Israel when we were getting our rabbinic ordination. Uh, so I had a mentor there. He said that he likes to do different programs that he's never done before. That he's never done before. Why? He says because it's a new challenge. It's something he's never done before. So he has to, administer new resources to figure out the challenge, right? And every year, running an organization, so you have big programs, little programs, enormous programs, right? You have all these different things. Sometimes the things you're familiar with. What's about the things you're not familiar with? Suddenly, when you have these projects that you're not familiar with, it gives you an unbelievable opportunity to tap into new resources within yourself that you didn't know existed. But if we stay within our comfort zone always, then we might again be sleepy and not be able to administer those new resources. So the day was created for action, for deed, while the night was created for rest. We see that in this week's Torah portion, right? The Bereshis, the beginning of the Torah, right? God created day and he created night, right? It's an amazing invention. What's the purpose of night? Why do the lights go out at night? Why is the sun not shining at night? Because it's normal and healthy for a person to have time which is downtime. There's time where we need to rest. It's like, King Solomon says, there's a time for sleep and there's a time to arise, right? And there's a time to dance and there's a time to cry, right? We have to identify those times. We have to identify what are those things that I won't sleep through this, right? And make things priorities in our lives, things that are important, right? And not allow our days to be wasted. The Rambam writes that a person needs to sleep 8 hours a day, right? And he brings a verse, Yashanti az yanuach li, right? When I slept, az means it can mean strength, but it also means then, right? And if you take the numerical value of the word az is aleph and zayin, right? That's 1 and 7. Together, that's 8. And yanuach li, then it will be restful for me. That's how much our body needs to recharge. When you buy a new phone, it tells you must recharge the phone this amount of time in order for it to last, whatever the 20 hours or the 15 hours that it's going to be in our use, unplugged, right? And why is that? Because they know when they put in the battery, this is how much it needs to be charged. Since the day of creation of Adam and Eve, 5,781 years ago, right? The recipe hasn't changed. And human beings still need 8 hours of sleep. right? Now, there are times where we need more, there's times when we need less, but that's the average normal amount for a person. So, too much sleep can lead to laziness and just being, you know, always draggy. When we have a long-term sleep, right? How do we how do we want to be remembered by people? As the people who are always sleeping, or the people who are always awake, and the people who are always proactive, and the people who are always getting things done, right? And that's our decision that we need to make today as to the course we want to take our life in, the course whether we're going to go on the path of, you know, being proactive and ambitious and go get them, and then there's no time for sleep, or God forbid, the opposite. Now, I will tell you that I have several friends who have retired over the years, over the recent years, and I always encourage them, take on a new project. Don't sit at home and read the paper, right? Take on a volunteer at the you know, whether it's the Federation, Meals on Wheels, volunteer, be proactive. Why? Because we need to. Life is about functioning, and when we're just, you know, winding everything down, it's like it's very easy for our mind to deteriorate, and it's critically important that we not, you know, our brain is a muscle, and if we don't use it, we will lose it, right? Sleep is very healthy for the brain. Too much sleep is not healthy, right? Because then we're not using our faculties. So, anything else you want to add to this? No? All right. So, God willing, next week we'll continue. And just as a summary, life is about awareness, right? If we don't have our senses turned on, then we will miss out on living. And don't sleep through life, live life. And living life is by being awake, is by being alert, by being connected, right? And sometimes, by the way, talking about a connected world, many people immediately think that's referring to technology. No, connected means connected to our family, right? Not putting the phone in between us, right? Being connected to our children, not putting the phone in between them, right? That is what it means to be connected. To disconnect from technology, to be connected in real life. And hopefully Hashem will bless us all to have unbelievable strength to accomplish great things. You know, this is a brand new year. It's a brand new season. We were just talking yesterday, Zehava and I, that the next holiday, the next major holiday is 5 months away from now. There's a whole lot we can accomplish in these 5 months. Yeah, we have Hanukkah in 2 months, and then 2 months after that we have Purim. But between now and Pesach, Passover, is 5 full months. It's unbelievable. If we set ourselves a target now, a goal, this is what I want to what I want to accomplish in the coming 5 months, and we have a day by day plan of how we're going to accomplish it. We're going to accomplish great things. And that's why it's such an important thing, I believe, to discuss this. Right, coming out of the holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, boom. Let's not sleep the next 5 months out. Let's be proactive, and let's have a passion for living and accomplishing. And the only way to do that is through setting goals, setting attainable goals, and really doing amazing things. So, to our friends online, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your participation on Facebook, and please like and share these videos. Also, if you're here on Zoom, you can unmute your microphones and you can ask any questions